Hello. Good evening, my friends, my family. Good evening, Facebook. Good evening, YouTube. Good evening, Instagram. Tola. Bless you, my darling sister. Temi, bless you, my brother. Mommy Ago, bless you. Ola Joseph, bless you. Omoni Atilola, bless you. Please. Mondubisi Okafor, bless you. Daddy Jacob Odioye, bless you, sir. Good evening, sir. Sister Remi Olujori. My sister, longest time, you got break from work today. Good evening. How are my people in Sheffield? Enki Bamidele, Olamide, Ola Onipekun, Yeti Abike Gold, Folashade Olutoge, bless you, my leader, bless you. Moses Owosheni, Bankole, bless you, sir. My old mommy in Lagos, Olabinke Olojede Nelson, my big aunt. Well done, ma. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Let's just wait a few minutes before others join us and to enable us to appreciate ourselves. How are you today? I suppose your day has been so busy as mine was. It keeps me going anyways, this running up and down. But sometimes we need to chill out a bit. So I trust you guys had a lovely time. Oh my God is the king. Will never change. From eternity to eternity, He'll be my God. Praise Him. Let's praise Him together. Come on, let's praise the Lord. My big mommy as well. Bless you, ma, from US. Bless you, ma. Thank you very much, ma. Modupe JJ, bless you, sis. Please, if you're online and you're not my friend, is it that you request my friendship so I know you're my friend? Because when I don't know you, then I won't be able to acknowledge you. You won't come up. But once I know, but please, if you're watching for the first time, give me a thumbs up so I can acknowledge you. Thank you very much. Adili, thank you very much. Ernest Brill, thank you. Edward Oye Jesse, please help us to notify other friends. Let's share, let's call our friends to join. Mommy Olukayo, good evening, everybody. God bless you. Thank you very much for your love. For those returning, my friends and family, my Facebook family, I'm yours, Olakwa Agoradeni. I've not changed and I'm still the same. And to everyone that's new on this platform, this is the White Builders, and my name is Olakwa Agoradeni, and I do come on live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram every Wednesday by the grace of God, 8:30 p.m. UK time, and I think that's Nigerian time for now until the time changes. Praise the Lord now. I will pray. We have a topic that, I'm going to allow you guys to do the talking this night. So please drop your comments, even if you can't call in. Our WhatsApp line is on. So you might want to, because it's free, WhatsApp is free. You might want to call on WhatsApp. It's 074 280 72162. 074 280 1672. Sorry, 074. I've had a busy day. 074 280 16273 or something like that. This is my brain, someone. Bless you, bless you. Thank you, mommy. Olabimpe Olajede Nelson. Thank you, ma, for sharing the video. Thank you. Please help us share it so that other people can benefit from it. This topic actually came on today. You know, Bambi Casey Ogutemo, my learned friend, God bless you. Rachidox was, beg your pardon if I do not pronounce it well. I don't mean to be rude. Tokubo Oluwayomi Joseph. You know, I'm a bush girl, so I only know my traditional people's name. After this track, we'll go on to the topic of the night. I have to say is thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. All we have to say is thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I suppose you believe with me that all we have to say to God for sparing us to see another day, we are not taking it for granted. All we have to say to Jesus is thank you, Father, for the breath of life. What we say? 280-72150. When you go a lot of phone on your brain, you know, and as you are getting younger, you know, you can mix things up easily. The young shall go. We are still remaining evergreen young by His grace. Hallelujah. I think if we want to continue listening to those music, we'll just continue to dance and dance and dance our ways. But that's the will of God for us, you know, that we should rejoice. Good evening. I'm going to put Instagram on now. 1 second. We're using the same now. Good evening, everyone. And I'm going to allow the Instagram to come up so I can. Hello, Instagram. Good evening to every one of you. I've been I received a complaint that I don't acknowledge people on Instagram. So I dedicate tonight to you Instagram fans. Good evening. God bless you. And I thank you. My name is Dolapo Aguradini, and this is the Wise Builders, and we're coming live now. I go on straight. Is polygamy a sin? You say, this is my mouth. God will help me. Because it looks like all these controversial topics that few of our leaders walk all around the topic. They don't want to really, you know, people don't want the world to castigate them. But truth be told, we have to say what it is. So this morning I woke up because I've had a busy week. And I woke up and I was still contemplating. I've got a few topics, you know, when it's just not on, I've got a few topics lying down or lying out rather that I had intention of talking about. But I'm such that I speak on inspiration. So I woke up after my morning prayers and I was like, God, what am I speaking on? And I went to work. Busy at work, I realized I've not even picked my topic. So I was going to pick it. Suddenly, something just flashed up from a group, one of the groups, you know, that I belong to, you know, on WhatsApp. And this gentleman wrote boldly, encouraging polygamy. Polygamy is not a sin, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, there's something, no matter how busy you are, especially we women, that's why all these smartphone, they can unsmart you sometimes. You know, I ended up leaving what I was doing to reply this man for almost 2 hours. And I suddenly realized, hang on, it's taking too much energy from me. I started from 10. I settled at my desk around 9:30, and I was doing some work. And suddenly I saw this thing, and I took my time to read it. And I'm like, yes, well, what's it talking about? You know, so I started replying him. And I love the man. As I was throwing something to him, he was replying me back. So I got engulfed in that. Suddenly it dawned on me, this is a topic that I should treat this night. And I'm like, wow. So I said, oh, really? So around 12 o'clock, I finished and I said, that's my take on it. And I was not going to talk about it again. Then I picked my topic from that I was going to talk about. So that's the reason why this topic came to mind. I'm not targeting anybody. I'm talking of a family, my blood family platform. So some people might be thinking I was having a go at people or something, people personal to me that, especially coming from a polygamous home, and my family members, parents, everyone is there. But I just couldn't help it. Replying the man and giving him a piece of my mind. Acknowledge Eric Mundo, Tokubola Yemi, Joseph, Kabiru, Shuaba, Beka, Kola, Kakaki Peter Adishile. Thanks for doing us good last Saturday. So I go on and I concentrate now until I have a break. I would acknowledge people. So now this topic came to light. Is polygamy a sin? If you have any views on it, I don't want to be the one talking alone. Every one of us, we know these things. Some of us don't know. They want to know. Few people have inboxed me that they are interested because it's a controversial topic, especially amongst us Christians and Muslims and other religions. They laugh at us. And what is the point of going into monogamy, otherwise monogamous marriage, and you're having girlfriends and you're doing on the G's, or you're sleeping, or you got a mistress somewhere, paid mistress and things like that, and for the whole world you're claiming to be in a monogamous marriage, you are in a polygamous marriage, but even yours is attracting now a sin. So let's now look, what does the Bible really say about polygamy? Is it a sin? Over the time, I found out that most of us has kind of labeled what sin is. Some of us became God, and we quote out of context, or we infer some facts, and we just generally conclude, oh, this thing is a sin. I'm going to define what polygamy is. Polygamy is the coming together of a man and more than one woman. A marriage of a man to more than one woman at a time. It could be several at a time. It could be two. It could be in succession, as in taking one this year, taking another one next year. The most important thing is the man lives or is known to have several wives, and he is made it clear that he's not married to only one wife. So from you coming in, he's told you I'm a polygamous, or he marries you together, and these women are happy to marry him, and they are living happily, doing their whole life. That is polygamy. Now, monogamy is the coming together of a man and a woman with the intention of living together as a man and a woman till death do them part. This comes with a oath. This comes with their own desire, and they come together to say, this is what we want to do. Most of this thing, I'm going to go, please follow me this night. And that's why I said, help me to share this video to as many as possible to get us educated. Perhaps we are going to stop all these issues of adultery. If people can marry as many wives, not me, I'm not the one that said it though. This is a wise builder. I will say the way it is. Whether you like it, like me. If you don't like me, you are not contributing to my feeding. If you like me, good luck to you. If you don't like me, good luck to you. But I know you will love me. You don't have a choice. As I love you, you will love me. I will love ourselves with the love of God. But truth has to be told. So Adam and Eve, they're the basic. I'll be looking here and there because I've got 3 cameras on. Adam and Eve are the basis of our belief and God's intention for marriage to be a monogamous one between a man and a woman. And I'm going to read from Genesis 23 to 24. That's what most of us are used to, and that's what we quote. But I'm going to take us chronologically into the Bible from the Old Testament to the New Testament. Then we'll conclude at the end of the day. Thanks, Oyebisi. Thanks. And Adam said, this is now the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave to his wife, and they will be one flesh. We all know that when God created Adam, he created only one man. And then he felt the man needs a companion. He needs a woman. So he got him Eve, from his rib. We all know that story. Then Eve became the flesh of his blood. So there's no contest about the decision of God at that time, because there was only one man on the surface of the earth. So he only created one woman for him as well. And that is what God intended it to be. I will not gainsay that, and I will not tone it down. That is the intention of God at the creation. But let's now go down. In order to determine if polygamy is a sin from biblical perspective, however, we must know what a sin is. Notice, and we notice how a sin is kind of defined in the Bible. So this would enable us to know, because most of us Pentecostal, we judge all these polygamists. I'm not saying it is right, and I'm not saying it is wrong at this juncture, but by the time we finish, because there's no point in concluding and getting you confused before we start. So, but by the time we go progressively, when we get to the end of the video, please feel free to pause me, especially the men of God, and every one of us, we are all men and women of God. As long as you're serving God, it's not title. We're not talking about title, but we are talking about servants of God, which you and I, we lift up holy hands every day before the altar of God, every Sunday. So this is for us. Please send your comment 074-2807-2162. Somebody online, please put that number online for anyone that wants to call 074-2807-2162. It's on WhatsApp as well. You can download or wherever you can click me or wherever had me on WhatsApp. It only comes up an hour to the show every Wednesday, and after the show I switch it off. I don't even know anybody's number. I only know that number, so it's just a hotline I use specifically for this. So I'm not going to call you back, and I don't want to know who is calling. Just contribute so that we know your views on this, or you type your views and then other people. So from the Bible's perspective, the Bible says that whosoever commits sin transgresses also the law, for the sin is in the transgression of the law. Listen, for it to be a sin, you have to transgress a law. Thank God for the lawyers in-house. For you to think this is a sin, and that's why Paul said, where there's no sin, where there's no law, there's no sin. For there to be a sin, before we can say polygamy is a sin, it has to be in the law of God or written somewhere. All my people on Instagram, hello, Bukilicious, Florence, Gusa, Kayode, Ogunosi, bless you, I appreciate you all. This is, if you're new on this platform, I'm Dolakwa Guradeni. Please join us as we're talking on, is polygamy a sin? So we're going to talk about what is sin. So the Bible talks in 1 John 5:17 that all unrighteousness is a sin. So anything that's against the will of God, that God has already enshrined or already written down to say this in the law, is a sin. So if you transgress it, as if you break it or go against it, you have sinned. So I'm going to give us another definition of sin. Sin is a violation of the physical and spiritual law of God. Once God says this is something, sin is lawlessness. Once you decide to take things into your own hand, that's a sin. That is the definition of sin. Sin is any deviation from God's righteous law. So before you can wake up from your bed and start saying this is a sin, that's a sin. I've had a lot of people say something is sin. And I said, who told you it's a sin? Where is it in the Bible that is a sin? Then we're looking at ourselves. So before you can say, thank you, Pastor Titus Abbey, God bless you. Adiola Prosper, Sister Warren, thank you very much. So before you can say it's a sin is a sin, it has to be written. It's the deviation of any law of God, principles of God, and sin is not imputed, like I told you earlier on. That's Romans 5:12. Where there's no law, there's no sin. It says, Romans 5:12 says, sin is not imputed when there is no law. So now talking about adultery, we have to be able to say where adultery is written clearly in the Bible. And we'll see instances of adultery. If we cannot say where, sorry, I'm not talking about adultery, sorry, because there's still adultery. Where polygamy, for us to say polygamy is a sin, we have to quote where it is written in the Bible that says polygamy, thou shalt not marry two wives, before it becomes a sin. And then we'll try and see God's perspective and how God treated those that committed, that got involved in polygamy. Then we want to know whether this polygamy affects God. Is it a sin? How it affects us as well, the implication on all the children and all those stuff that we are going to talk about. So polygamy, for the doubt, just for people that are not sure, it's not adultery. Sexual relationship between man and woman is only sanctioned within a marriage context. So any man that sleeps with a woman and you are not married, it's fornication or adultery. So, and this involves adultery, promiscuity, rape, and everything, fornication. That is adultery / fornication. But polygamy is the lawful marriage of a man to 2 or more women that they willingly agree to him that, okay, we want to be your wife, we want to eat your food, we want to bear your name. And this is what we are talking about. So if you feel it is a sin, please give us a ring this night or drop your comment. Now, going down, like I said, we're going to progress gradually. In the Old Testament, please pause me and contribute, but without anybody calling or contributing, I'll fire on. So in the Old Testament, 07428072162, there are dozens of men of God, patriarchs, all our fathers in the Lord that had more than, including Abraham, the father of faith, that has more than one wife. Was he condemned? Did God tell him he was this? Abraham, for example, did not intend to have a second wife, but Sarah suggested to him after they were looking for a child. Most of them is because they're looking for one child or the other, Sarah willingly, the wife said to him, take another wife, gave him her own slave, Agar, and he slept with him. It became his wife, whether wife or concubine, but it is with the opinion of both of them and in agreement. So let's now think about it. Did God say this thing is a sin? Abraham did this, Jacob, and a lot of righteous men. We're not going into that by mentioning names. Going to Genesis 30, Gideon even has other wives, but what we want to say is choice of many wives can turn a man's, listen attentively. Though God did not write it down that, polygamy is a sin. Well, one of the disadvantages as I go on is, and there was an instruction, a lot of people quote it, but it was given for a specific reason for the kings in the Bible, because the only instruction in the Bible that forbid polygamy was given to the kings. It says, I'm going to read Deuteronomy 17:17. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. The reason why God told the Israelites when they were going to enter into a foreign land not to imitate strange gods, because they will start looking and they want to be governed by king. So before the Israelites enter into that promised land, they were given specific instruction about placing a king over them. So, and he said to them, it's for kings and all in leadership. And he said to them, don't multiply wives when you get there, because he knows that these women will turn their heart. We know what happened to Solomon. Solomon started doing his own. He took several women that now turned his heart against God. So God gave those instructions to these people that, okay, Israelites, as you are entering into this foreign land, make sure you stick, especially the leaders, stick, because he knows that they will start worshiping. If you marry an occultic person now, or if you marry somebody that worshiping, or the Old Testament, there was no place. All these men of God, listen, and I want to make a clarity there. These men are not your God. They are not Christ. They are men of God. And the Bible says you should look unto Jesus, the author and finisher of your faith. I don't want us to misconstrue anything I'm saying. That's why I'm laying them down, so that you can understand them. So all these men of God in the Old Testament, including Solomon, God was not, God, look at Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines. God did not count it as a sin for Solomon for marrying those wives. God strange gods, all the people that God, all the countries that God says, and the people that God says, the region that God says do not marry from, he defiled everything. That was his own problem. David, when he married Bathsheba, the only reason why God was angry was because he killed He killed Uriah not for taking Bathsheba, because he eventually married, and we know the story of Solomon. So let's go down progressively. So my thoughts, and I want anyone to differ, is if all these men, remember, there's nowhere in the Bible that is written that shall not have more than 2 wives. It's not written. It spoke about women should not have more than one husband, as in it's not allowed for a woman to marry 2 men at the same time, you know. But the men, the only area, like I said, is Deuteronomy 17:17, that talks about men should not marry more than, let me adjust my camera, more than two wives. So that's the reason. So now let's now go progressively. Now we are going to say that's the Old Testament. Let's leave the Old Testament on the side, because a lot of polygamists, they justify themselves with the Old Testament. All of them always say, oh, David married several wives, which is true. God did not condemn it. But remember, we've not entered into the new covenant at that time. But even the new covenant, I'm going into it now, there's nothing in the New Testament that forbids polygamy. So talking about is polygamy a sin or not, we are going to understand now. Now, there are few scriptures, however, that talks about you taking another wife, talking about fornication, talking about a lot of people, for example, have quoted few of these, which I'm going to elaborate. The first one is 1 Corinthians 7:1-2. You know, when Paul wrote to the Corinthians that I'm going to read, now concerning the things that you wrote to me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. You know, people have used this to denote the fact that it's talking about polygamy. It addresses fornication there, not particularly a type of marriage. It was not at that time. The people of Corinth, if you're used to them, if you used to that story, they're lawless, they were wayward, they were sleeping with their, you know, we even got words that one of them is sleeping with his father's wives, and they do their thing. They were just all over the place. So Paul's instruction to the God bless you, ma. My mommy, Bishop, mommy, Debbie Noel for USA. God bless you, ma. Adios, Olua, Fumi, Yinka, Lawao, Ekpen, Ogun, Oluwato, Ogunlo, Bode, Faith, Adola, Ajayi, Biodo, Aramide, Adedigba, Jumokola, Godoye, Louis. God bless you all. Kayode Ogunusi on Instagram. God bless you. I progress. You see, Paul was talking to the people at Corinth in that 1 Corinthians 7:1-2. He addresses fornication, but he did not particularly address any type of marriage. Go back and read the book of Corinthians. So that does not say that statement was talking about polygamy is allowed or not allowed, but it's saying that, you know, for them, instead of you messing about, everyone should go and marry. A man should have a woman, but he didn't say a man should have 2 women. But let's be very categorical about it. He was talking about avoidance of fornication. So the only area that the Bible specifically forbids, and that's if you tie that to that Deuteronomy 17 that we read, is for leaders. So for anyone taking leadership role in a church, it is a sin unto you. And we take it. Like I said, we're progressing. Now, polygamy is forbidden for church leaders. Paul was writing to Timothy, and I'm going to read again for 1 Timothy 3:1-2. He said, this is a true saying. If a man desires the office of a bishop, he desires a good work. A bishop then must be blameless. Thank God for as many of us that men and women of God leading the church. The husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach. So, for the role of leadership in any church, Paul clarified, though, like I said to you, the Old Testament was silent. He only spoke to leaders that they should not have more than one wife, so that the women do not turn It didn't particularly say it's a sin, but it was subtly mentioned there so that the women do not turn their hearts to other gods. But I mentioned some of the patriarchs to you, Abraham, Jacob, Gideon, couple of them, that took more than one wife. David, God was angry at some other things like David killing Uriah, but not because he married more than one wife. So Solomon had 1,000. God was angry not at the 1,000 women, but because the women turned his heart against God. So remember leadership as a leader. In that Deuteronomy that we read, God forbids polygamy because as a leader, when you take all these women, you will not be able to uphold decision. They are going to start messing you up. Your home will be chaotic. You want to listen to this advice. You want to listen to that advice. Then you become confused. So the only specific, clearly written instruction in the Bible about polygamy is forbidden for church leaders. Now, furthermore, Paul wrote to Titus in Titus 1:5, in 1 verses 5 to 6. He says, I'm going to read. For this cause left high you in Crete, that you should set in order the things that are wanting, and ordain elders in every city, as I had appointed you. If any be blameless, listen, the husband of one wife, having faithful children, not accused of riot or unruly behavior. So do you understand? So the issue of polygamy is expressly forbidden in the Bible for church leaders, for leaders. But then the Bible is so silent. It's never mentioned anywhere in the Bible that taking of more than one wife is a sin. Lamech was the first one in Genesis that took a second wife. He was the father of polygamy. He started it. But even that, it was not clearly. And if people like Abraham, Jacob, Solomon, David did it, can you imagine Abraham, father of faith, and God did not say anything about that polygamy? God was silent about the polygamy about the issue of him marrying second wife. Even David, a man after his heart, God was only angry because he killed Uriah, not because he married Bathsheba. So now we have to now look at this, and in fact, like I said, and I tried from the start. Good evening, sir. Thank you, sir. Pastor Ologun. I can acknowledge you. God bless you, man of God. So, starting from what we said, we try to identify what sin is. Then we start from the Old Testament, and we are progressing down because we are. I know we are not under the law; we're under grace. But if there's no law, there's no sin. So when we are saying polygamy is a sin, where is it written that is a sin? But there is a lot of disadvantages, which I'm going to talk about. But talking about where the Bible talks, it only forbids it for leaders. And the reason for forbidding it for leaders is they'll start misbehaving. They have to be turned against several decisions. They will say, Darlene, let's go to church tomorrow. They will say, oh, Darlene, we are not going to church tomorrow. Then the man becomes confused and he start doing his own thing, and his mind will not be at rest, will not be able to rule well, will not be able to judge well. Going further, let's talk about the disadvantages of polygamy. That's what most of us, so at the end of the day, we will conclude whether it is a sin, whether it is right. Clearly, it is not a sin, because if it's not written in the Bible as a sin, you cannot impute sin. You can't start quoting your own Bible to say this is a sin and going about that is a sin, is a sin. For men and women of God, church leaders, it is a capital sin. You cannot mount the altar, you cannot rule the church of God when you have two wives. It's a sin unto you, because it's a sacred position. And if you have to take that leadership position, and same thing in the Old Testament, in Deuteronomy 17, that position, for you to take it, a position of kings and leaders, you have to abide by the law. It becomes a sin unto them now if they do contrary to what God is saying. Disadvantages of polygamy. Even though polygamous marriage are not condemned in the scripture, there are many scriptures that shows now. Listen, it's not expressly condemned. There's scripture that shows that adultery, incest, jealousy, hatred, bitterness, unhappiness, and immorality are associated with polygamy. Listen now, God did not say this thing is a sin, but we are going to infer what is good for us. And like I said earlier when I started today, this came out from the group that I joined, one of the groups, and the man wrote there that at the end of the day, I rested my case. And suddenly I'm just like, wow, I've not even had my topic for today. This will be a good topic. Because the man, I think, is a man of God, and he was a Christian, and he was writing boldly that he's going to mislead other people. Because some people are young in the faith. So we have to, though it's not written that polygamy is a sin, but we have to look at the disadvantages of this thing, though the Bible did not say it's a sin. So we can't call it a sin, but morally, we have to know how it affects us, and then how it becomes dangerous for us to go into polygamy. Now, like I was saying, if you enter polygamy, I come from a polygamous home, so I'm a very good person. Now I'm going to give you a good example about polygamy. And my home was where we were growing up. We grew up in love, we were going to the same church. Everybody will eat. I'll go to his mother's room, B's mother. We're eating and dying. But suddenly when we grew up, how many of us, most people are at each other's throat now. It's one of the disadvantages. You want to talk, you're covering your mouth, you don't know your words are going to pick, those are the dangers of polygamy, even though the Bible doesn't talk about it. So morally, let's talk about these things, because once we want to start saying, people have tried to say, it's a sin, is not, and I hate people quoting out of context, especially once the Bible does not call something a sin. You don't have any right. For you and I, if you're a member of a church, and I'll say boldly, and you want to marry more than 2 wives, you are okay. Come, you just come as a brother or as a sister, but you stay at the back. You will not be able to take any leadership role. But the moment you want to be involved, be a worker, be somebody that wants to really be Christ follower, because we have to be the example of the whole world, then your character has to be checkable. Now, issues of adultery, incest, sleeping with himself, jealousy, hatred, bickering, talking to this one is, bitterness, unhappiness. The wives are not happy. No woman is happy to share, in olden days, maybe because of lack of no choice, they don't have a choice. So most of them accept it. But no woman, in our right senses, now when I even think about it and things our mothers and forefathers they go through, I'm just like, man, what goes on in these people's head? Are they saying for example, are they for real, like people say, unhappiness, immorality, all these are associated with polygamy, because the man might not be able to satisfy all his wives. Then you see these women sleeping about. You see them having on the G and all these things. So these are one of the disadvantages of polygamy. It's not good for anybody, because when all these things are there, I think it's James 3:16 that says, when there's envy and strife, there's all manner of evil works. There's no way there won't be envy. There won't be saying, it's my turn this night, bro. It's my turn. We've had cases of, not my family, but in places that we've had cases of where people will poison other children. They will say this child's destiny. It's all manner of stupid things, because there's jealousy, there's strife, and Bible clearly says it. Thank God I remember that scripture, James 3:16 says, where there's envy and strife, there's all manner of evil works. It's there. So that's one of the disadvantages of polygamy, because you can't love 2 women the same. It's not possible. Men will tell you, I love all my wife the same thing. Is a lie. You are yo. Today you love A because she cooked egusi. Tomorrow you love A because B because he cooked moi. And when you go, and when it's A's turn to go, and you are not, you favor one at any time. It fluctuates. So all these things are disadvantages of polygamy. The second disadvantage of polygamy is the effects that this type of marriage will have on one's walk with God. As well as the example that we are going to, I mentioned it earlier on. There's no way you will go into polygamy and you will be a good leader. You will not be a good leader. Paul said, if meat will cause me to stumble, cause my brother to stumble, I will rather, I think that's 1 Corinthians 7 or something. I'm not really sure on that, but 1 Corinthians. If meat will cause my brother to stumble, I would rather not eat meat. We are a glass for the whole world to see us. So this kind of marriage will hinder your walk. You can't serve God faithfully. Your heart is disturbed. Some days you want to go to church. A is blocking you and B is blocking you. Mama Lagbaja is saying, this one is saying, I want to be in front car with you. It's just too much of confusion. Your heart will not be right with God. Your heart will be pounding and a lot of issues. So it's not a good example. We can't set a good example in our service, even if you're not a church leader. Even if you are not a worker, you yourself knows, you feel dirty. I don't know, peradventure, I'm like, but some of you are like me. When I go before God, my conscience, when I sit down before God, I tell people that I don't keep malice. There's nobody I keep malice with as I am. Everybody, if you offend me by tomorrow, I'm saying hello. Because by the time I'm kneeling beside my bed to pray to my Father, I'm at peace. I don't have time. I'm not those that spend 10 hours just banging your head. You're banging your head on the floor, praying, and the sin of forgiveness. If we open your heart, you have whole sister, yeah, sister, being sister, everybody is all over. Your prayer will not pass the roof. But once you learn to do a sprinkling of your spiritual life and you follow peace with God and man, before you kneel down, the heavens is open. God that we serve is not a God that you have to mount yourself on the mountain before your prayers are answered. We are the ones that we should check ourselves. So this kind of marriage messes you up when it doesn't give you an easy flow relation. Remember, from Genesis, you've already deviated. He created a man and a woman. He created there's a lot of school of thoughts that said it was because it was only a man on the face of the soil then and the only woman. So God does not have any choice. You are free to say whatever you want to say. But the most important, that's true. Because if there had been two women, and if we remember that all of them were doing inter-family, even from incest, they were committing incest, marrying brother and sister just to procreate as God wanted. But this effect of things messes people. It messed David up. He messed Solomon up. There's no one. He messed Jacob up. He messed Abraham up. He will mess you up. Even if you are not a leader, he will mess you up. So this kind of thing hinders the flow of your worship with God. It hinders you. You are kind of physically separated from God. Kind of a little bit alienated from God. So the third one, like I said, the first one is all these evil works. The second one is the effect it has with your walk with God. And the third one is you're practically unable to take a leadership role. I read it for you earlier on in the church. Those people that God will have mercy. I'm not here to judge anybody. Like I say, I don't judge no one. I don't even have a right. And you and I don't have a right to join anybody. So I always say, and I concluded to that man, that work out your salvation with fear and tremble. Pastor Ronke Okoya, I acknowledge you. God bless you, woman of God. So I read Ronke. God bless you, man. So the person is not unable to take a leadership role in the church. I'm going to talk about advantages which people do not want to hear. And I'm going to talk on that. Advantages of polygamy. Polygamy has a lot of advantages. And in this recent time, I, to be honest with you, even as a pastor, I started wavering. I wasn't sure whether I was to or fro. It's not a sin in the Bible, so I won't call it a sin. There's no place in the Bible that talks that polygamy is a sin, but it forbids church leaders. But if you're a brother and you know how to rule because the Bible says if a man cannot take care of his house, you are worse than an infidel. If you know how to take care of your home and everything, you can just be in the church flow as a brother. Bring your two wives. When I was young, there was this man. Funny enough, the man was not in church, but he has these two wonderful women. They're friends. They wear the same same gele, everything. They come together. The man will drop them in church. He brings them every day. He comes to take them, in those days. And we used to think, oh, they are the same, until I had the opportunity to be closer to the junior one because she was a nurse that time. She will tell you about the senior wife, Yale, and gossips of bickering. Like I said, James 3:16, where there's envy and strife, there will be all manners of evil work. That's the disadvantage. So let's talk about the advantage. One of the advantages, I'm giving two advantages. One of the advantage of polygamy, see, there will be less of single women out there. I say to people, God will be interested in a man marrying 2 or 3, 4 women than God interested in a monogamous marriage that he sleeps with 3 or 4 women as under G, adultery. So the society we are now in, we seem to encourage lies and embrace we seem to encourage lies, yeah, and embrace lies, yeah. Beg your pardon, my mouth sometimes goes, all this English and grammar. We seem to encourage a lot of lies. Advantages of polygamy is, though, we are different, and I'm still going to get into that, but it's one of the advantages. There's a higher percentage of women. We have the ratio of 60-40. 60 women, 40 men. Tell me who is going to marry the 20% that is left. I'm going to get to what Isaiah said in a minute. Isaiah 4:1. It says in the last day, 7 women shall take hold of. Isaiah prophesied what is happening now. In the Old Testament, Prophet Isaiah, in Isaiah 4:1, I'm going to quote for you. He said, in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. Is it not happening? Saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us recall your name to take away our reproach. A lot of our single women are being reproached. There's no husband. We have single mothers. We have single ladies. Everyone into fornication. Everyone into adultery, sleeping with married men, sleeping for money, trading their body. Would it not be better for a man to marry if he's capable? If a man is capable and is rich and he knows how to rule his own home, let him marry 2 or 3 wives and take care of them. I'm not promoting adultery, polygamy on this platform, but I'm just saying these men of old, why would this? I don't have any problem, and I stand for monogamous, and that was why I got angry this morning. I was interchanging words with that man because I do not want him to mislead other people on that platform by purely saying polygamy is not a sin. Polygamy is right. Everybody go. I said capital no. You can't just come to that conclusion without taking people through. So they make a choice. The downfall of what you're going into. You make a choice. But for the sake of those women, I know some women are out there. They're not married. There's no man out there, and they see a new married man that wants to marry them, not as a mistress, that wants to bring them home and marry them, cover their shame. There's no way in the Bible that says they're sin. That's why I said my platform is very controversial, because what people will not say, as long as in the Bible, I will dissect the Bible and I will tell you the way it is. I normally do my study and I come to my conclusion. And I say, if you're out there, if you differ, text me, call in, let's just talk about it. We all learn. Like one man of God said, it's high time we learn, unlearn, and relearn. Remove everything in our brain and start relearning so that we know. And that's why the Bible was study to show thyself approved, the workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightfully dividing the word of truth. MQED. So you see, the disadvantage of it, there will be less of single women, widows, or married ladies going into fornication. Now, all these ladies, is good thing if you find your own husband, and try as much as possible to wait on the Lord, pray and fast for your bone of bone. But there's some people that maybe their husband is dead, or they suffer domestic violence and they've been kicked out, something happened to them, and they're saying, oh, they don't want to be a second wife. Thank you, sir. My pastor and mentor is on that. Pastor Dele, I appreciate you, sir. Bless you, sir. God bless you, Pastor Dele Olawale. God bless you, sir. So what we're trying to say is, when polygamy, as we were saying, if the advantages of it is, if the men are serious and can take these women, there will be less of single women, widows, or married ladies going into fornication. Like I said earlier on, it's totally not written that it is a sin, but it has a lot of disadvantages that I will not advise anyone to go into polygamy. But if you're such that you don't mind, instead of you sleeping about or being mistresses or deceiving yourself that you're into a monogamous marriage and you're sleeping around, it's better for you to take a second wife. Since we have started from Genesis to now, there's nowhere in the Bible that is written that God said this is a sin. It's nowhere. And that's why it didn't condemn those that did it, because it didn't say. And where there's no sin, where there's no law, there's no sin. So the second advantage of it is what I read to us, the prophecy of Isaiah in Isaiah 4:1, that women percentage is more than that of men. So women, if you see a man, the only thing is that man cannot take leadership role and cannot be a worker in the house of God. But he'll be free to be a floor member, and he will carry his wives to church. He will go to heaven. He won't go to hell if he keeps his own. Beg your pardon. He won't go to hell. The only thing is forbidden that as a leader, as a church leader, as a pastor, you cannot take 2 wives, even as a leader. So these are the advantages, the only advantage. The rest are disadvantage. So now, like I always say on this platform, I'm not judging. I'm just laying it out the way it is. It's now down to you whether you want to see these 4 disadvantages of bitterness, hatred, unhappiness, immorality associated with polygamy. You know, James 3:16 that says, where there's envy and strife, they are all evil works. Once you're ready for the evil works, for your co-wife to be dealing with you and unhappiness and frustration and blood pressure, and if you're ready for that, yeah, you can rightly go to polygamy. You know, it's not a sin as long as you've gone into it and the man made his intention of marrying 2 wives, you know, it's not a sin before God. It's not a sin before God. I've defined what monogamous marriage is and polygamous marriage, whether in succession, whether one or the other, the man has made it known to you that, yes, these are my wives. And all of you are rocking together, wearing same ashwabi everywhere. God bless you, Pastor Israel Ajayi. I appreciate you, sir. So these are the advantages of polygamy. Please give us a ring, 074-280-72162. Now, what is the fate of polygamous children? I cannot conclude without mentioning this. You know, we've spoken about the disadvantage. So if you and I are thinking about this thing, if you have 10 disadvantages, yeah, God has not said it, because, like I said, polygamy is not written anywhere in the Bible that is a sin. And from the Old Testament, all of those patriarchs were not condemned for taking from Lamech to all of them. David was not condemned for marrying Bathsheba, but because he killed Uriah. Solomon was not condemned by God for those 1,000. That Solomon is wonderful. Oh, that man is something else. He was not condemned for 1,000 women, but because the woman turned his heart after God. Remember that. So when you marry more than 1 woman, they're going to turn your heart against God. We've already discussed all these things. So we are going and progressing to say, what is the fate of all these polygamous children? One of my sisters wrote something to me, send me just one. He said, hatred. You see, sorry, that goes to that James 3:16. There will be jealousy, there will be division, there will be hatred, there will be manipulation. Everyone's seeking to gain the attention of their father. You know, it's so bad. And especially it's worse when each or either of the parent now dies. When it's succession, when it's time to inherit and things like that, it gets unnecessarily messy. So you will think twice. That's why the fact that it's not a sin, but morally, and as it affects our lives, I say that I will not advise anybody to go into polygamy. And that's why I argue with the man. That's what prompted this topic in the morning on the platform, because the man categorized, oh, polygamy on the platform. Polygamy is not a sin. I was encouraging anybody, and I picked my test for almost 2 hours. I was testing actually everything I was doing. And after a while, I'm like, wow, why am I so engrossed in this? Then suddenly I'm like, I've not even picked my topic for today. This is a good topic. So, like I said, if you look at all these disadvantages, you would not want to go into polygamy. Look at the children. When it comes to inheritance, it's messy. Some goes to kill themselves. Some goes to do diabolical things just because, even without succession, without inheritance, as they are growing, once they know the father favors somebody, they fight for unnecessary position. So it's not anybody in his or her right thinking. You know, you will not have 2 wives. You will not go into 2 wives. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. There's going to be jealousy. There's going to be division in your house, blood pressure, heart attack, hatred, manipulations, everything, confusion. Like James 3:16 says, there will be all. Think of any evil works. I can't mention them enough. Where there's envy and strife, you hate my food today. You can't go to A's room, you have to go to B's room. That's what will keep going on, and you turn the man's head upside down. So the man will not be, and that's why God forbid it for leaders. He forbid it for pastors, because they will become confused. They will not be able to think straight and all these things. So there will be all manner of evil works. So now, going to one of the last one is, why should a marriage be monogamous? If we have addressed all these things, why should we go? Like I was saying, from everything I've said, you will have take the skill that I'm gearing towards monogamy. I'm not God. I'm not saying, I'm just saying the mind of God. That's the way God sees polygamy. Once you can keep your home, carry your wives together, nurture your children in the fear of the Lord. When you die, and serve your God when your heart, when you die, you go to heaven. You go to heaven. You will be a brother, your sister, just clap from. The only thing is, because of leadership, because of godly example, you cannot be a leader in the church. That's just the only thing. And that is what Paul spoke. He spoke to Timothy about it, and he spoke to Titus about it. So these things are instruction that has to be followed. So why should a married now be monogamous? I said it promotes love and unity in the home. It's common sense when you have just one wife, but I'm going to talk about disadvantage of monogamy now, because that's why I see so much. Monogamous marriage is a marriage that shouldn't have any disadvantage. But nowadays, there's a lot of disadvantages. We kind of readdress the way God does things. So monogamous marriage or monogamy promotes love and unity in the home. It avoids kind of bickering, because who are you bickering about? And you bring in the who are you to? Nobody has time for you. It's only you and your husband. If you have anything to bicker about, you talk to him. But if it's another woman, say, when you were out today, she poured water on the floor. She not allow me. Women, and women can be so bad. So you went yesterday, I'm not eating. They close the freezer. It is confusion. So this will not be in a monogamous home. Faithfulness of the spouse to themselves as good example to the children. Remember, especially on this platform, we're trying to build wisely. We have to set good example. Most children from monogamous marriages, they have a wrong concept of marriage. They go into marriages with bitterness, with anger. They're so protective. They're so much on the edge. They're so suspicious of their spouse, and they messes things up because there's no good role model. They can't see love within their all they see is bickering, is wickedness, is strife. So they are like, some of them are like, if this is what marriage is all about, I'm out of it. And then the poor innocent man that marries them or woman that marries them, they're on the edge. They're overprotective. Suspicious, keeping secret accounts, doing things just because they are not. They lack that security. So it's not a good one for the children. And then one of the good advantage of it is easy administration of the estate after the demise or the death of the parents. You see, what you've worked for all your life, you don't want to leave this earth, and there will be fighting, and there will be killing ahead of a family that the first child, because the will of the father did not favor him, actually killed the half sister. Went there with cutlass and chopped her head off. It's bad. But once there's monogamous marriage, though even in that, there's still some funny thing, people greedy, but at least, you're for in succession. Maybe the father has done a will or not. There's the kind of unity that, you belong to the same mother, and same father. Your father has gone or your mother has gone. There's easy administration of the estate, and there's love. People are doing things in unity, in love, So this is one of the good examples of polygamy. That's why I will go for polygamy, because of all this headache. But if you are such one that I'll go for monogamous marriage. But if you are such one that you like trouble and you like your head to turn upside down, you can go into polygamous marriage. By the time they start screaming your head up and down, and you have blood pressure, and your heart, God forbid, collapses because of 2 women or 3 women fighting themselves because of you, you're whole. You still get to heaven, but maybe you'll be punished. I'm not God. But all I'm saying is, once you serve your God very well, but if you mislead, remember, Jesus Christ is the same one that says, if any one of you mislead these ones, you'll be accountable, because these children, they are God's heritage. We should not mislead them. Now, disadvantage of monogamous marriage. Hey, this is on this note, I'm going to end. It promotes infidelity. Most men that I know, most African men are kind of insatiable. You say Pastor D has started, though. Me, I will say my own. Most men are unsatiable, and they go on the ground for sex or for mistress. That's the disadvantage of the so-called, that was the point the man was trying to make in the morning, but it just messed the whole thing up because it started wrongly, and he was trying to say wayo gamist or something for monogamous people because they are wayo people, as in cheats. Wayo in Nigerian language is a pidgin language, that says it's fraud. So most men are insatiable and they go for underground sex. So if you know that you are not a man of one wife, happily marry 2 wives and live well with them than chopping from one woman to the other. Let the world know that, you're a man of 2 wives or 3. The world can judge you, but when your God does not judge you, I've told these people, if you find it right that you're able to cope with all this stress, that everything, there are some people that can cope with all. I know a man that if the roof is burning, he sleeps at 9 o'clock, he wakes up, even with several wives, he's unperturbed. But if you're such that you cannot handle all these things, monogamous marriage is not for you. Stop wasting your time. If you are not a man that is not disciplined, instead of you pretending and taking a woman to the altar today and making the woman, you just want to make the woman bitter, and you start sleeping and she has stories of infidelity, it's better for you to be a polygamist and pretend. So that's one of the disadvantages of monogamous, because all these monogamous married men are the ones that sleeps around with all these young girls. A particular woman was telling me that, they don't want them to be married because they use them for girlfriends. So these women, we have to be careful. Instead go and take a second wife and stop defining these young ladies. And disadvantage of monogamous marriage as well. The second one I wrote is after death or divorce. That I wrote on my own. I just felt that I added that, not I've seen much of it, right? But after death or divorce of his spouse, the man can shift to his other wife. That's what I thought, because Abraham married Keturah after Sarah died. Keturah has been a concubine. So I just thought in my head when I was doing my studying and I was rounding up, okay, one of the disadvantage of monogamous marriages, the man, will be able, he has already concubine, he can shift. But by and large, the most important thing is it promotes infidelity. Most men cannot take their eyes off. So instead of you doing on the G and bringing diseases, bring the woman home, let your wife know that I can't cope. I'm sorry, I've messed up with the married vows. I'm not someone that can marry one wife, which is deception, because if you have told her you're going to stay by her the days of your life, I know these things happen, but instead of you from hopping from one to the other, it's better for you to take another wife. So that's my take, and that's the biblical take on that topic. Is polygamy a sin? Capitally, there's nowhere in the Bible that says polygamy is a sin. If you are in doubt, you can call in. I'm going to round up now, but start from, where there's a lot of us goody two-shoe Christian that we just conclude without doing our research. Start from Genesis to the end. There's no way. It's forbidden for church leaders. But if you're a brother in the church and you find out that one woman does not tickle your fancy and you are not a one woman, maybe you are such randy one and stuff like that, marry your 2, 3 wives as long as you can take care of them, because you are infidel if you cannot take care of them. And secondly, remember all the points that I wrote, all the disadvantage, because one day your life, they will kill you. It's a fact. They will kill you. Your life will not be long. But as long as you want to have a short life, and then all this bickering and evil works, James 3:16, where there's envy and strife, there's all manner of evil works. And as long as you can deal with all these things, you are free to take your second wife. And remember what Isaiah says, that the last day, men will be pulling other, 7 women will be grabbing a man. We are in this last day. There's shortage. I know that because I counsel a lot of women. We have a ratio of 60 to 40. 60 women and 40 men. So who's going to marry these 20 women? And that was why God, throughout the Bible, was silent. God was silent about the story of all the issues. God never pronounced polygamy a sin. From Lamech to Abraham to Jacob to Gideon to Solomon to, I can keep naming them. So God did not say it's a sin. But the Bible talks about a lot of disadvantages that you're going to suffer. And I will say to you, if you love life and you love your life, keep a one woman, just like God ordained in this beginning. But that was creation. He created Eve for, but it never condemned it, because after that, the people after that started deviating from it. And I concluded by telling that woman that looking unto Jesus Christ, the author and finisher of our faith, the Bible is an embodiment of Genesis to Revelation. So because the patriarch did it and did not, and that's why Paul addressed it for church leaders. In Corinth, they were all doing it. And that's why I set an example that, okay, this polygamy, God bless you. Some people will leave the call to the last time. Hello? Hello?
Wonderful topic.
Thank you, sir.
We really admire it.
Thank
A
you.
lot, you with the people to hear the right thing, to do the right thing at the right time.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you very
Bye
much,
for
sir.
now.
Oh, bless you, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks for that contribution. Thank you, sir. Bless you. I think on this note, if nobody is calling again, we are going to call it a night. My sister, bless you, ma. Aderonke Salawi, man. Where have you been all along? Big sis, thank you. Pokola Awobo Kumakus, thanks sis. Adenike Yelolu, Adeyele, bless you. Eldalayi Buki Ajala, bless you. Satu Mansare, Kingsley Apo Baro, Chitura Chuku, God bless you. Yemi Akinwande, as many people. Olaye4963 on Instagram, thank you. Mukaloka on Instagram, Abimbola Olawumi. Some people have moved up. There's nobody, you see, controversial topics like that. People don't like talking. They only would like Pastor Dolly to do the dirty business because I'm the parrot. It's not nice. It's not nice. This is wise building. We are building together. God bless us. I really appreciate everyone for our time this night. Please help us to share this video. Help me to share it. Drop your comments in case you differ or you have any Instagram has finished. It will only last an hour. We've clocked an hour. And in case you have any dissenting opinion, let us know. The Lord bless us all. I really appreciate everyone. In case I missed your name, I'm really sorry. Jakaye Adiola Adeniyi, bless you. Some people filtered all before I could catch them. Please say I so I can know you passed on my page. And I'm going to tomorrow. It's been a busy week. I've not really had time to catch up with all my notifications to say thank you. I'm going to do that to all. I really appreciate every one of us. I said, the Lord bless you, the Lord keep you and make his face to shine upon you. The Wise Builders comes up every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. by the grace of God. If God tarries next week, by the grace of God, I'll be here and I know you'll be here. The blood of the Lamb will avail for us, and no weapon of the enemy that's fashioned against us shall prosper. I declare any tongue that rises against us in judgment, I condemn them in the name of the Father, Son, and of the Holy Spirit. And I declare that you keep winning in Jesus' name. Stay blessed and bye for now. Have a lovely night. If you are married, romance your wife, romance your husband. God bless you. If you are not married, go and marry. God bless you. It is well. Ancient of all days.